Hi guys, how are you doing? Thank you so much for joining my channel. So today I did this piece and I did not record it properly. So the whole time I thought I pushed record, I was actually recording my desktop wallpaper image thing. So I was not happy about that, but so on that second note, I'm just gonna jump in and show you my process of how I came up with this pretty interesting abstract piece. So just a bunch of floating shapes with the use of some colors and some small textures here. But yeah, so I'll just jump in and show you guys just from start to finish how I went about it. It is pretty, honestly, pretty easy. You can also look up inspiration on Pinterest. That has a lot of awesome 3D abstract pieces. And so, yeah, so to start off, I always start my work with looking at the sizing. So this one is in 1920 by 1080. If you're doing it for Instagram, you can totally change the sizing. So to change the sizing, you go to environment and okay, where is the thing? Oh, sorry. So yeah, so you do click on the sizing here, the pixels 1920 by 1080, and on the right hand side you can just switch it here. You can just type it in manually and input your size. And usually on the second thing, what I do is I try to find a view area of what I'm trying to capture in my work. So for this one, because you know this is not that interesting to capture, so I kind of just find a decent size. But I usually do that after I've already made up my piece, after I've already laid out my objects, my 3D models. Then I capture the piece by saving a camera bookmark here. So to start off, I'm just gonna take you through the shapes that I used. So for this one right here, it is a pill shape. So this model right here, and you can find it in the models section. You click on the models button and you scroll down, and there it is, capsule. So not pill, my bad. So capsule. So you just select capsule, and let's go back. So usually I just drag and drop, but sometimes you can just click on it and it will just appear in there. And so for this capsule, so again, shortcut keys that I use a lot is the number 1 and number 2. That helps me. So number 1 helps me kind of just freely rotate around, you know, like this. The number 2 allows me to drag up, down, left, right. Okay, and to zoom, you just use a scroll wheel on your mouse to zoom in and out. So with the capsule, I was like, okay, so what do I do with this one? Maybe let me look at it from a different angle. Then I can just shift it in a bit. Okay. And so for my color palette, I just like this. What's the code for this color? Let me see if I can get it for you guys. Okay. And click here. Okay, so the hex code for this color is 86C4BA. I pretty much just used two. I used the color for the first texture, and the second one I just used like a bronze for this piece here. I used the bronze. But yeah, so just first, let me just do the pill, just to give an idea of how I went about that one. Okay, so you select the capsule. I just like to look at it from a side angle. Okay, just undo that one. So to add a texture to it, you just make it have it selected. Go to materials. Then I like the matte, because usually with the matte, what you call it? With the matte texture, it absorbs the light way better. It doesn't really like have light doesn't really bounce off of it in a harsh way. It's more soft when it receives the environmental light. So I use the matte finish on that one. Then I just apply my color to that one. I should have copied it first. Okay, so just copy. Then click on my capsule. Select it. Over here. Okay. And paste it. Awesome. So there, I have my capsule set up. What else is left with it? It has like these bottoms to it. So for that one, I used the cylinder. That's what I used. I used a cylinder. So I'm just gonna drag my cylinder in here. Just set it up on the ground. Maybe play around with the sizing a bit. Grab my capsule. Okay, now I have to line it up. So okay, this is another problem that I have. Usually I need to like ground it first. So let me just delete that one and take another capsule and make sure it's grounded there, like so. Nice. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, have it selected. Select the material, the matte for that one. And go into that one. Select the color. Awesome. Select that one again and try to layer it with the cylinder. And if you guys know a better way to line up stuff, I usually struggle to get that to work properly, so it's looking decent. Okay. And just reduce the size. Perfect. Okay, so let me get that cylinder. And reduce this guy too. Play around with, I think, is that the y-axis? Yes, so you play around with the y-axis, so take it down to like 0.1. Okay. Seems like it's looking good, but it's not completely lined up. And that's the interesting thing about working in 3D is you have to like be able to rotate 360 around your models, so at least you have a better view of it from different angles. And I mean, some people, you might find it kind of frustrating to always like, okay, I gotta move all around, but I don't know, I feel like it's fun. You have control of the space, so that's pretty cool. See what it looks like underneath. Oh, still. Okay. So nice. Awesome. Perfect. Looks good. Let me see. Somewhat identical. Yeah. So it's, I mean, it's all your preference. You can make the capsule as tall as you want it to be or short as you want it to be. I just left it at the default sizing of the capsule, but I mean, it's at 0.7. You know, you can take it down to 0.6, whatever. But for me, I thought I just would like it at 0.7 for now. So after that, I select my cylinder, and then I go over to materials, and I scroll down, and brass. So actually, my bad, it's brass, not bronze. So brass, and that would be attached to it. Awesome, awesome. So just for the sake of your sanity, try to put these two 3D objects in a folder, so at least when you're moving them all at the same time, so you're not like struggling to move one and move the other one, and it's not aligned properly, and it's just a pain. So they're all in one folder, and now you can move them all together. Look at that. Awesome. Sweet. So that's how I made the capsule and the cylinder model. And then I just played around with different angles and yeah. Then what's the next one? Let's see. Let's try to do the cones. The cone. Where's this guy? Yes, the cone. Let's try to do the cone. Okay. So for the cone, there were two cones, two types. The first one, I just dropped the cone in there, messed around with the size a bit. Like this, like that, just however size you want it, as you can see up here. This guy here. Then I just added a brass, my bad. Brass material to it, and boom, there it is. For the second cone, these guys right here, it has like the brass on top, and the matte finish, the matte at the bottom. So basically how that one was done was, let me undo this one, and let me copy paste within. Then you just take it up, then you size it down, boom. Then again, just go 360, have a look if it's not sticking out from any other corners. Looking good. So you just have that one still selected, and boom. Oh, okay, my bad. Let's do that again. Where is it? Top cone. Brass. Oh, it's on the inside. Okay. That's what the mistake is. So just size it up a bit. There we go. There we go. Awesome. Then for the bottom cone, you select that one, give it a matte finish, material, click on your base color, select the green, and boom, there you go. So there we have it. We have our two objects, 3D models, looking good. What's left? Which one is pretty complex? So for the pill, so for this one over here, I use the cylinder. Oops. Come back. So for this one here, I use the cylinder, and I just pretty much did the same thing as I did to the pill. So you can just select the cylinder and just add sections at the bottom. And I can show you that one too quickly. It's really easy. Because I like you, so I'll show you how to do it. Okay, so you pick a cylinder, pop it on the surface, on the grid. Awesome. Then maybe make it a little small, a little thin. Okay, I think that should be good. Then you work on the Y axis, make it a little tall. And you can size it down a bit to make it slimmer. Nice. A little bit tall on the Y-axis. Okay, looks good. Then what you do is you have it selected, copy and paste, and let's change it to, let's add a material to it. Let's add the brass to that one. Then go back to your scene, select your model, then select the Y and just bring it down. Perfect. Then you can copy and paste that one too. Did it paste? No, it did not. Okay, let's try it again. Copy and paste. Good, it did. And a helpful tip, guys, is always name your layers, so that way you know which layer is doing what and when it's doing it. I mean, that's like the best way to like help you not be confused of what am I doing, where did I put what. I'm only not naming it now because I'm not going to use these ones. So and again, after you got that one, you select the middle one and give it a matte, then go to the base color and give it that greenish teal looking thing color, and that should be good. Oh, and this is one small issue I ran into whilst I was working with these models. So what I realized was, you know how it's kind of having that scratched up look to the brass. Well, it's because some of the matte, this model is kind of sticking out, is kind of, should I say leaking? No, it's showing through the brass. So what you do is you select that one and you can size it up a bit. Nice. Click that one too, size it up a bit, and then you just put those 3 models in a folder where they're nice and safe, and then you can move them around. And so this way, feel free, you can always just like rotate them, you know, however way you want to place them in your piece. That is totally subjective to your preference. Then what's the other confusing? Okay, so let's do like these. What do I call them? Like gold plated, whatever weird looking globe thing. These ones here. So that one is, what model is that one? Let's scroll down. I think it is I think it's one of these ones. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I can't mention that name. I don't want to butcher it and people can make fun of me in the comments below. But please don't make fun of me. So yeah, so just pick this one again, bring it to, oops, what did I just do? Okay, let's do that again. So you just pick that model, and all these models are free. They come with Adobe Dimension, so you're always open to adding your own models in Adobe Dimension, but I mean, for this tutorial, I'm just using the default ones that Adobe gives out for free. So after I plop it there, place it on the grid surface, go to my materials, and for this one, I didn't use brass, I used bronze. Okay, is it working now? Okay, make sure your model is selected. There we go. Bronze. There we go. No. Did I use that one? It doesn't. It does look like it. Yeah. Okay. Then after I got that one figured out, I went back to my models, scrolled up, look for the Torres model. Then I think this guy, I kind of played around with it somewhat, so I think I flattened it. Yes, I did flatten it. So you can take it down to like 0. Oops. Take it down to 0. You can check and see if it's aligned over. Increase the size of it. Did I? I think I did. And I just lined it up like this. So what it looks like. Oh, smaller circle in the middle. Okay, let me see if I remember how I did that one. So you have the model selected. Pipe radius maybe? Yes, so pipe radius was the... Yep, so you just play around with the pipe radius. Once the model is selected, you can scroll down on the right side and look for pipe radius and play around with those numbers. Okay. I can still make it bigger too. Make it bigger. And play around with the pipe radius again. Nice. Then once it's still selected, you go to your materials, select matte. And in the matte, you go to base color and select your color. And boom. There you have it. Okay, it's not pretty, it's not aligned. Doesn't really look flat, does it? Or maybe it's the light that's kind of... But yeah, that's basically what I did for this model. Cool. Okay, what's the other model? So with like the donut looking one, it is the same Taurus model. Taurus. Then, what did I do? I gave that one also a matte material. And change the base color to that green. And I had another shape in there. It was the same, yes, it was the same Taurus. So with the Taurus, let's do copy and paste. Copy and paste. Okay. And I'll just bring it up so I can see it properly. And scroll down and sides. drop the number of sides. I think I dropped it down to like 4 or 5 sides. I think this is it, yeah. Then I played around with the y-axis. I think I took it down to like 0 or 3. Then I went to material and selected brass. Awesome. Then I played around with the sizing of that one. I think I made it bigger. Moved it up. Maybe make it a little small. And boom, there you go. That easy. And again, just put the 2 models in one folder, and so it will be much more easier to move them around. So once I was done with all those different shapes in their individual folders, oh yeah, this curly spaghetti looking model was also found in Adobe for free. Here it is, Abstract. So it's the Abstract, I don't know what it's called, Abstract what? Abstract curves. So I just messed around with the rotations on that one, y-axis, z-axis, all that kind of stuff, and just placed it wherever I wanted. Give it a material matte and the color white. Did it get selected? Come on. And I just gave it pure white, just, yeah. Yep. So yeah, that's pretty much all the shapes, the models that I used. And then I just played around, you know, just the idea of using repetition, you know, it helps kind of balance the piece out. So repetition of the shapes, you know, somewhat 2 of each, or similar, you know, repetition of color and stuff, so it's not too busy. Then yeah, once I had them all just lined up the way I felt comfortable with, then I just took a bookmark camera shot, which is this one. Yes. Then once I was done, I just moved over to render and chose the destination folder that I wanted to render to and dropped it in there. Yeah, so I dropped it in there. I think I had it saved in downloads, so I go to my downloads, and I also saved the Photoshop version. So I rendered a PNG and a Photoshop version, and I'll show you why I did Photoshop. So I open Photoshop. Awesome. So I just grouped all these folders, made a copy, then I merged the grouped folder, went to filter, camera raw, filter. And so what I was looking for, it seemed kind of, you know, the light was too kind of bright on the objects. I didn't really like how shiny it looked, so I just wanted to play around, you know, with exposure. It's all a personal preference, what you're looking for, what you're trying to capture. You know, the white balance, maybe don't want it to be too dark. I added some maybe saturation or reduce the saturation or clarity, added some clarity in there. So yeah, a lot of this is just your own personal preference, what you're looking for, but I would say staying as simple as possible. Just play around with the basic ones, you know, the basic exposure, contrast, highlights, shadows and stuff, and then you should be good. And after that, I just saved it as a JPEG and uploaded it on my video of what I did to come up with this piece. But yeah, thank you guys so much for taking time to watch this, and like, subscribe, share the video, and please just come back another time. Thank you so much, guys, and take care.